I made 1.2 million with my box truck business last year, and here's what I learned. Just to be clear, in trucking, that is gross. Gotta know your net and your gross. If you don't know me, my name is Kobe King. I've been in the box truck business for the last 3.5, going on 4 years, and I just purchased my 5th truck cash, and I'm here to educate you guys, give you guys as much game as I can, things that I've learned along the way and I'm learning to this day, and to make sure that you guys are doing the right things with me. One of the things I learned is how to keep the business running, no matter if things are tough at that time or not. I've had many times in the beginning when I started my business that I didn't know if I can continue. For example, actually there's many examples, but the first one, I purchased the wrong truck, an International. I had problems with it continuously. It was an International without a Cummins engine. I spent a lot of money on it, probably the upwards of 20 to 25,000 when it was all said and done. That was just continuous. Secondly, I purchased a truck that I thought was gonna be a good truck. A month after I had it, it was in the shop, it derated, and it sat in the shop for the next 8 months after that. Reason being, it was around the pandemic time. Parts were hard to get, so a specific part I needed was on national back order. The truck sat in Denver for 8 months from, I believe, April to about November, mid-November, something like that. I lost money on that truck continuously because I had to keep the bills paid, the truck note and the insurance. So this was definitely a tough thing for me. The third thing that in the beginning that made it very tough to continue, but I did, was I had a truck, the DPF went out in New York, derated. The shop told me that they were gonna clean it. They came back, said that it needed to be replaced. They replaced it. It was about $6 grand to replace. Then they came back and said the EGR went out. That was another 2,000, and the truck sat there for 5 months because at the time I did not have 10 grand to fix it. This was over 2 years ago. I did not have 10 grand at the time to fix it because I had the truck that was causing me problems. I was paying for that. The truck that was in the shop for it was a body control module, the one that was in the shop for 8 months. And then the DPF. So everything was just tackling me one after another. And I'm in the truck driving every day. Me and another driver, we're trying to get the work done. We're trying to make money, but I mean, to be honest, I was breaking even for a good amount of time. But all in all, I was able to stay in the business despite all of that. I can go in way more detail than that. And now all my trucks are bought cash. I have a lot of funds that I did not have at that time. My credit limits are way higher. The things that I experienced at that time, I was able to make it through. And that's what made me into the business owner I am today, the entrepreneur I am today, and the trucking mini fleet owner that I am today. If it wasn't for my perseverance and my diligence and just, you know, my mentality, getting through those times, big gem for you. Make sure that you stick it through because it can be tough at certain points, just like any business. I promise you, you can make it through if you got it up here. Another thing I learned was just simply how to be an owner operator. So what I mean by that is I was a driver for the business, for my company. While I drove, I paid myself a driver's salary during those tough times that I had to make sure that I can make it through. But also I had to make sure I was doing my booking, so my dispatching myself, the accounting, making sure I was up to date with my QuickBooks, making sure that I was working with my drivers, being a boss, being a manager, working with the mechanics, making sure I was on top of that, getting my deliveries done, you know, not having any drop-offs with that, and also trying to further the business, reaching out to companies, you know, things that I'm doing and great at today. I had to do those things in the beginning. It made me a successful owner operator, and now I can be a successful mini fleet owner, whatever you want to call it, and also jump in the truck whenever I need to jump in that truck. Something that's also helped me in this business is taking certain life lessons with me, whether they were within the business or not, putting those life lessons into my business. I have a mentor that I've known for a long time that has nothing to do with trucking, Mr. Ron. Shout out to you, Mr. Ron. He taught me a long time ago that no matter what you're doing, no matter what it is, you have to start, no matter what that is. If it's just me filming, you know, getting into YouTube, starting that business, getting that truck, you know, getting a mentor, you just have to start. You have to put your feet first, and you have to, you know, one foot after another. And you know, it might sound like a simple concept. People like to procrastinate, people like to put things off, but like I always say, if you have that mentality, you have it up here and you can put one foot in front of the other. You just have to start. Life moves so fast. So when I say you have to start, when he told me that, I always think about it. I think about the future me. So, you know, at that time I was around 20, 21, 22 when he told me that. And you know, like I said, it can sound like a simple concept, but if I would have never started, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't have persevered the way I have, and even just gotten into trucking and got, you know, did my other business, did college, whatever it was. I just started and I never looked back. I never stopped. I mentioned to you guys that the International I had that I had a bunch of problems with. You know, my goal with that truck was to get it running so I can keep making money. Of course, I have bills, I have drivers to make sure that they can get runs. If I could talk to the future me now, I would have told told myself at that time, just sit that truck, get a mechanic to make sure that they can fix that truck. Anything that's wrong with it, I would have spent that money. At the time, I didn't want to spend the money because I was just trying to keep the business running. I ended up selling the truck. Future me, I would have told myself, don't think about the money. The money's gonna come back to you. You have to keep investing, because that's a truck that I could have continued running. That would have been, you know, another truck that I would have had in my disposal to use at any time. So future me, spend that money because it's gonna come back no matter what. If I was to make a decision and I need to take a risk, what would future me do? And that future me is the successful me. The more successful me than now, than I'll be in 5 years and 10 years. Future me has to know what's the best thing to do. And the best thing to do is invest in yourself. Going through this business since I've started 3-4 years ago, I've invested a lot in education. This can mean from books, this can mean from mentorship, this can mean from paying to get in a room that you need to be in with people that you need to be in that room with to be able to further yourself. I read a lot of entrepreneurship books on mentality, mental aspects, just trying to further yourself, self-help books basically. And then that has turned into mentorship. That has turned into education into the business that I'm working in. So I've purchased courses. I've talked to, you know, a bunch of people on how to build, how to learn more. The goal is to make sure you have the knowledge to get to that next level. So investing in education is investing in yourself, and investing in yourself is simply just believing in yourself. And just like I said, you have to start. So there has to be some starting point. That's believing in yourself and not thinking about anything else, but furthering yourself for your business, for your family, for your loved ones. Another thing I learned was money management. I always say we work in this business, we get paid the day we drop, the day after we drop, very quickly in this business. So cash flow is great in the trucking business. However, if you don't manage your finances, that cash flow is just gonna be money in, money out the door. You're not gonna know what you're making. So you need to make sure that you have your accounting principles down. You need to make sure that you know what your profit and loss is, your cost per mile is, just simple things that can propel you to be able to save and build more in this business so that you can know what you're making, know what your drivers are making, if you're paying too much for your drivers, if you're not paying enough, if you have more to pay, different systems you can use for paying. So there's many things. And making sure you're using QuickBooks, making sure that you're using QuickBooks, you're separating your expenses and your profits and separating your accounts, making sure that you're not commingling funds. Just many things like that will help you propel forward to where you want to be in this business. But accounting is one of the major things that you need to know. While we're out there driving, we're on the road, we're dispatching, we're fixing trucks, whatever it is, we're doing oil changes, we need to make sure that we're still doing the accounting. It's not just picking up a load, delivering a load, and anything like that. So please make sure that you are working on your accounting principles. So those are some of the things I've learned since getting into the business, starting a business and running it successfully. These are things that I think about on a daily basis that I want you to think about and revert back to these videos as information, as a gym, as game, just to be better. Again, my name is Kobe and I run a box truck business just like you. And to help, I've even created a 17-step blueprint to make sure that you know how to get into the business from, you know, each step and the information that you need for that. So make sure you click below to access that. It's free, it's definitely free, so make sure you tap into that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Definitely leave comments, like the videos. Let me know things that you want more videos on, so I'll try to put together as much as I can for you guys. And definitely follow me on Instagram at KKing Trucking. I post daily content there. I post loads. You can see the loads that I'm doing. You can see the locations that we're going. You can see the things that are going on in the business. My goal is that I can show you guys as much as I can so that you can see what it's like to run, you know, 5 trucks in this business. I appreciate you guys. Keep tapping in. Peace.